Hi muckers, and welcome back to my second channel. Oh, Bonnie is starting off the video with a snort. You can see the Christmas tree right here. Hello, Dolly. Dolly is right... Oh, I was going to show you her, but don't worry. She's going to jump up and let you know that she's right here. So I'm sitting out on the balcony right now, and it is currently... sunset, sorry, is actually almost over. Hi, darling baby. And the girls are just out on the balcony as... I mean, pretty common knowledge. You can kind of see by the factor right here. And it is currently about to be 6 p.m. And one of my favorite things to do is at sunset, kind of sitting out and just enjoying the views. And let me actually show you, like, we are almost completely at the end of the sunset. Oh my god, I don't know why I keep saying that. Let me try to pull this down even more so you can see it. Oh, there you go. So, this is what we're dealing with right now. It is incredibly beautiful. Really beautiful. So, there we go. Now back to me. Okay. So, God, I've really got to understand how to, like, quickly change my camera settings. There we go. Have my Red Bull. And I just wanted to catch up, so... if you hear squeaking, it's the dogs with the toys. I went and got my hair done today, and it looks really dark right now. And I can kind of show you here. It's actually grey. It is grey, and it looks really dark right now because there's no real light. If you know, I was blonde, but it was very much so like an orangey blonde, and I've been trying to get to the platinum white that I was originally at before I re-dyed my hair brown again. And the reason I dyed my hair brown after being, you know, finally reaching the stage of blonde I wanted was, number one, I go through things really quickly and I get bored, which wasn't my smartest decision, but I had, you know, spent like an entire 6 months bleaching my hair to finally get to my desired platinum white blonde, and then I had it for a couple months and I got bored and I went back brown, and then I regretted that. So I've decided to have like a plan with my hair this time, which is... I'm going to, you know, work my way up to blonde, and then I'm going to be blonde for probably 6 months, and then I'm going to go dark red for a couple months, and then I'm going to go back to brown. So I'm going to, you know, have more within the time this time, which is actually probably for the best. I want to know, by the way, if anyone has any favorite hair colors that they've had, or if you've ever dyed your hair. Hi, Snorty Snorty. Bonnie's sitting at my feet snorting. I love it. But yeah, so that was today. And it is kind of like that grey color right now. Again, it looks almost like... it looks almost brown right now whenever I'm looking in the viewfinder, but I promise you it's not. I would not go right back to brown again. I think we're going to go out tonight. I said in a video recently, I think one of my videos where I was like surprising the dogs with toys, I was like, oh, I'm going to go out tonight, and I'm so excited for it, and I haven't been out in so long. Let me tell you something, I didn't go out. I was too tired in the end, and I just went to bed again, because I slept the entire day, because I stayed up all night, and then I slept the entire day, and I woke up in time to go out, and instead of going out, I went home to Ireland, because I had that, like, burst of energy, after sleeping, because I'd been on the worst sleeping schedule, and I kind of wanted to briefly talk about Ireland. So it was fun. I went back for 2 days, basically because I went on the Friday. I'm going to turn my brightness up, just in case that's down. There we go. I went on the Friday, I stayed for Friday, stayed for Saturday, and I came back on a 9 a.m. flight on Sunday, which kept getting delayed. But it was really good to see my family. I really enjoyed it. I haven't seen them in a very long time. I think it's actually been a good few months since I had seen both of my parents, and I don't see my brothers more than like once or twice a year now, so it was good seeing them. Or well, one of them, because one of them's still in our family home and then the other one's off doing his own thing. So it was good seeing him, and it was nice. We had, you know, a nice family dinner. On the day I arrived, we got pizza, because I persuaded my parents to allow us to get a takeaway, and so we got pizza, and it was from Paolo's Pizza, which is like my favorite pizza place in Derry. And that's one thing I will say, I haven't had like a nice takeaway, like fast food, here in Brighton than what I had in Ireland. So I needed to get that, and I got a spicy volcano pizza, and it was so good. And then I went to my Nana and Granda's then, which was amazing. And then me and my friend Ellie went out, which was so fun. And I kind of briefly talked about this in the hour-long video I uploaded, but it was nice. This was one of the first times I've ever went back home, and I feel that like people who've moved out and go back to visiting their home city kind of feel the same thing. You know, you go in waves about what emotions you feel whenever you return to your home city after living somewhere else, and this was the first time I returned to Derry where I didn't get sad. No, I didn't get sad because I missed it, or I didn't get sad because I felt like I didn't belong, or I didn't get sad because of nostalgia, or oh my god, I remember there was a time I visited Derry where I was crying walking through the streets, and I actually uploaded that video, and people were like, oh my god, I can't believe he uploaded this video, like he's drunk walking home and he's crying and he's a mess and he's lost it. And the reason I uploaded that video, I think I had actually gone out that night, which was why I was, you know, out filming, and I probably was drunk because if I was out with my friends, but that video meant so much to me because I'll never forget that night. I was walking through the streets of Derry and I was crying walking through the streets of Derry. I don't care if it's embarrassing. It was like something that was real for me in that moment because I didn't recognize the streets anymore. Like, I was walking home and there was so much new construction happening and I just didn't recognize Derry and like my walk home anymore because it was so different now. And I uploaded that video and there was a lot of people that made fun of me for being like, he's drunk and I can't believe he's such a mess and he uploaded this video. Imagine crying on YouTube and all like that. And there was a lot of people though that were saying like, this video helped me a lot because I identified with going back to my home city and not feeling like I belong there anymore or recognizing it. And I was like, you know what, I'll take all the hate comments, all the comments making fun of me, because that meant a lot to me, that what I was going through in that moment, there were people commenting that they feel like that right now. And even if my video doesn't help you, you can identify with it and realize that other people are going through it as well. And for me, that was what I was going through. So anyway, that was that. But my reasoning for saying that is I didn't feel like that going back home. I actually felt just like I was almost in Brighton, like going on a night out. Like, we went to Sandino's, which is the place we always went whenever we were younger, and that was so fun. I didn't feel like I was stepping into the past. I felt like I was going to a bar with my friends, and I didn't feel like I was constantly talking about the past with my friends. I just felt like we were talking, and it was actually one of the first times I've went back home where me and my friends weren't talking about the past. We were actually talking about things that are happening in our lives now, and you know, comparing how different our lives are, and a lot of them are in uni, or a lot of them are, you know, working, and it's, you know, we were just comparing lives and comparing stories and talking about the future. And that's what me and my friends used to always do whenever I was in Derry. We would always talk about the future, and we did that again yesterday or the day before, whatever, and it just felt so great. And then on Sunday I met up with my old school friend Aiden, who I haven't seen him in so long. Like, I haven't seen him since we finished college, like before COVID. Like, so I haven't seen him since probably 2021, April or September 2021, I think was the last time I saw this guy. Probably wrong. He was one of my best friends in college. Love him, great guy. And we met up at Sandino's again, same place, the next day on Sunday. Oh my god, I was so hungover and I felt so sick. Me and my friend were supposed to go out that night, and I literally just had to be like, rain check, I'm gonna stay in. I love you, and I will see you next time I'm here. It was the friend I saw the night before, so it wasn't a problem. And she messaged me just to show how much me and this girl are like one. She was like, oh my god, I was hoping you were gonna cancel because I'm so hungover too. And I was like, I got you. So anyway, sorry, I'm just turning this up a bit more because it is getting darker, as you can imagine, with the sun setting. So me and Aiden were just, I've actually filmed, my goodness gracious me and Aiden were, he was actually in a couple of my YouTube videos when I first started doing drama. We didn't do drama videos together, but we did a lot of vlogs during Derry together, and we were talking about that, and we were very much so talking about the past, but I didn't see that as a problem. We were talking about, you know, college, and we were talking about the future as well, like what we both see each other doing, and he's planning on moving to London very soon. So there was a lot of that, but it was a lot of like really nice nostalgia in our conversation about being in uni together, and just different things. We were talking about different stories with like teachers, and I really, really, really enjoyed seeing him, and it was really fun, and it was interesting, like the conversations we were having. We were talking about what were we talking about? We were talking about like getting our license. He just got his license, and I was talking about when I want to get mine, and it was like we were having like really like mature, like adult conversations, which is so funny because if you told me we were having that when I saw him last, which again was only like a year ago, but if you told me in a year's time when we were filming our short films and none of us had jobs, and that we would be a year later, me living in a different country, him moving to a different country in a month's time, and just talking about getting our license and rent and life and stuff. It was a really nice catch up that I had with him, and I just really enjoyed being back home. And my dad said something to me when he was leaving me to the airport. He was leaving me to Belfast Airport, and he drove me there. He was so sweet for driving me because it was so early in the morning. I was gonna get the bus, but he was like, "Let me drive you," and I was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna refuse." And he was like, "I said to your mum last night," because he came into my room like 11 p.m. or something like that, and I was like almost about to pass out asleep. And he asked me a question. Because I was about to pass out asleep, I have no idea what he asked me. And then we talked for a bit, whatever we talked about, and then he left. And so he brought this conversation up when we were in the car. He was like, "Do you remember when I came in last night and was talking to you?" And I was like, "I don't remember what you were talking about, but I remember you came in." And he went, "I immediately went down to your mum after that and said, I wonder if Adam's up there sad that he's going back to Brighton tomorrow, or I wonder if he's sad coming back to Derry, or I wonder if he, wishes he didn't move, or wishes he didn't move to Brighton, moved to London, or wished he, had waited, 6 months before moving, or waited a year before moving." And it was actually interesting hearing what my parents talk about whenever I'm not there. And obviously it wasn't them talking shit, but it was, a conversation. I don't know what my mum said, but that was my dad, and I was all to him. I was like, "I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really feel any of what you just said. Like, I'm excited to go back to Brighton because I get to see the animals again, and I get to get back to my life now, because that is my life now. But I also didn't feel sad coming back to Derry. I just kind of felt like I was, having a nice weekend that required me getting on a plane, and I got to see my nan and granddad, and I got to see my childhood best friends, and everything was great, and everyone turned up. Because again, I've said that I've went back to Derry a couple times, and some of my friends like haven't shown up for me whenever we've had agreed plans, and there's been mess there, but like everyone showed up, and I just had a great time, and it was great. And I said that to him. I was like, I'm glad I moved when I did, because whenever I talk to my friends, we are on kind of different wavelengths. So like my friend Aiden is moving to London in a couple months, so he's going to be starting that like exciting journey of that first year as a blur. You learn so much. He's going to be starting that in a couple months, where I feel like I'm over that now. And no, I'm glad I did it when I did it, and it took a lot of balls to move out, especially during the time period I did it, because I moved to Brighton, and then I had to like go into like, it wasn't quarantine, but like the world was still shut down. So there was a lot that I, kind of just spent a lot of alone time, and that was something that made me learn so much about myself. And I just said to him, I was like, I don't regret any of it. And I kind of like looking back on certain things in life and being like, I have no regrets, but I was like, I can promise you I have no regrets about anything to do with moving out. And in terms of Derry, I know I've told you in the past, because I'm very honest with my parents. I had told them that I stopped going back to Derry because I did get sad, and it wasn't because I regretted moving or anything. I just felt that I was stepping into the past, and I wasn't ready to step into the past. I don't know, I can't describe it. And I said to him, that's like over me now. Like that's over me. And I don't know, it was really, really, really nice, and I really enjoyed it. I'm actually going to move inside because it's really dark now, and this lighting is so unflattering, but this is really beautiful, right? It's like really beautiful. I love it. Anyway, it's not flattering lighting, and I just think that we would be better off inside right now. So let me comment, even though it's way darker in here. Oh, Bonnie's in her new bed. You can't see because it's so dark. I need to adjust the settings again. But anyway, let me do this. And we're going to put the lights up on the camera. That is putting it down. Can you tell this is a new camera and I don't know what I'm doing? There we go. And then we're going to put the lights up like this. There we go. And I'm going to turn the Christmas tree on. We're going to deal with this lighting, okay? Sorry about that. So yeah, I've been loving doing these second channel videos. And one thing it has also allowed me to do is I just love the kind of connection that we've been doing and catching up with everyone. It really does feel personal, this channel. Like, hi, sweetie. I love my main channel, don't get me wrong. But my main channel to me, at a certain stage, I love you. My main channel is very much so to me. I put off a way more polished view, and there's a lot more comments with a lot more, you know, kind of just talking about the topics I talk about, and that's fine. I am a drama channel, and I don't expect everyone over there to care about me in any way, but I really do enjoy that I can kind of put an opinion out on this channel, and whether you know, agree with me or say whatever about it, but you can kind of relate it to your life in a certain way. She stinks of tuna, so I have to put her down because I just gave her tuna, and the smell is ridiculous off of her. So anyway, that was that as well. And also, I'm really, really, really happy that whenever I was in Derry yesterday, there's a lot of small businesses opening again. And now I want to ask you what the kind of small business thing is like where you live, because I feel that I remember there being so many in Derry right before the pandemic, and when the pandemic hit, they all closed down. And it was devastating for Derry, and it was devastating for the world because it was happening all over the world, but it was really, really, really happening in Derry and like cities that are so small that get zero funding as it is. I was really happy. This was the first time I went back where there were so many small businesses opened, like new ones or pre-existing ones that had like a remodel or something like that. This Red Bull's not for you, babe. I don't think she stinks of tuna. Oh my god, Dolly, I love you, but you're getting a bath after this, and you're so cute, but I just don't want your tuna in my face. So if we could, no, you stink of tuna. I'm literally gonna put my back to you. I'm gonna put my back to you. Y'all can call me out. I don't give a fuck. She stinks of tuna. So you stink. Dolly, you stink of tuna. You stink of tuna. Ugh. Okay, she's getting a bath right after this, so I need to do that. Anyway, it was really nice seeing all of the small businesses, and I want to ask you, I assume, unfortunately, a lot closed down where you live. I want to know any updates with them. Have they reopened? Is there new ones? I just think that it makes me so angry how little the government did to protect small businesses during COVID, and I know that within like America, Americans were getting like whatever amount of money it was as like a COVID relief, but I think they did it like once or twice, and it's like that is not enough. And the fact that like prices and everything is continuing to go up now, and you're expecting everyone to be able to adjust their life without increasing their pay to the it's so fucking disgusting to me. And so I was the thing that sparked this conversation is I was talking to one of my friends who has a small business in Derry. I went in and visited them, and they were basically saying about how, you know, prices are going up on everything, but pay isn't going up on everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, workers aren't getting paid more, but prices are continuing to go up, and it's just like, it's so frustrating how little the government do to protect the people. Whenever it comes to like, especially like small business loans during COVID in the UK were abysmal. And look at that. So many small businesses closed and so many equivalents of like Shein opened. And I just think it's so fucking revolting. And because the thing is, small businesses are where you get the quality. Small businesses are where you get the love. And it's like, and the people who work at small businesses or have their own small businesses are some of the most determined people I've ever met in my entire life. some of the most dedicated, just hardworking in every retrospect of the word, and how bad they got fucking done over by the government and continue to get done over by the government, by the way, all over the world, is sickening. And if any of you have small businesses, I say this all the time, use my social medias to promote them. Go for it, because I don't have that loud of a voice, but whatever voice I have, use it. Comment sections, anything, use it, because if you're that dedicated to something you're doing, I can imagine it's great. And even if it's not perfect, it's done with love and care, and you deserve to be seen by people. And I don't know why I segued into that conversation, but it made me so frustrated whenever I did go back to Derry and I saw so many small businesses opened, which I was very excited about, but then it made me realize the amount that closed and didn't get a proper chance, because the government didn't look after them during COVID and didn't lower prices of things and didn't, change rent prices, and still demanded this and this and this while people weren't able to work. And it's just, sorry, I don't mean to go on this fucking segue of being upset right now. It's a very valid thing to rant about. It's incredibly valid. And I would love to know your opinions of it. And if you are a small business owner yourself, or you know someone that is, because I bet you every single person who's commenting this, or 50%, 60, 70, 80% of people who are watching this video right now know someone who owns a small business. And I just do anything I can to support them, even if that is, going to a non-chain shop, or going to a non-chain coffee shop or something like that. And that's always like my thing. It's always like if I go to like a Starbucks or Costa or something like that, where I know that they get my coffee order right, I normally in the same day, because I get a couple coffees a day, trust me, my stomach doesn't thank me for it, I'll normally always go to search out like a small cafe. My favorite ones are always like small family run ones as well. And sometimes I love the coffee, sometimes I don't, but I would rather try and then love it. And so I don't know. If anyone has any recommendations for like things that are small business versions of things that we do or go every single day, let me know, because I would love to look into them. So yeah, I mean, that conversation just came out of nowhere, but it had reference to me being back in Derry. My flight back was great. My flight there was great as well. My return, it's just so easy to get to and from the UK and Ireland, so that's great. And it was just great seeing my family, and I feel that I've had a nice reset now, and being back in Brighton, I really do love kind of having a moment of no responsibilities. And with the animals, I love them so much, and the reason I always whether it's like once every like month or 2 months, I'll go away. Maybe it's for a weekend, or maybe it's for like 5 days or whatever like that. Maybe it's to Paris, or maybe it's just going back home. The reason for that is because I have amazing dog sitters and I have amazing cat sitters, and this time my friend who's in the apartment was looking after them so kindly. And it's like, if that's readily available, and I trust the people who are looking after them, and the dogs know them already and the cats know them already, and I can go home for 2 days, or go to Paris for 3 days or something like that, to go somewhere and have absolutely no responsibility, and then come back, I come back refreshed, even if I'm gone for like a day. And it's really, really, really nice. And it's like, I would not trade for the world having my dogs. I would not trade for the world having my cats. They are quite possibly the thing that, like, on the fucking hardest day will keep me going. And I don't know what I would do without them. I really, really, really don't. And me and my family talk about this all the time. My parents say that. They'll be like, that, just like, especially those 2 dogs, like they, I can't even imagine my life without them. But I'm saying, with all that being said, I do know that for my mental health, it's great, if I can do it, every 2 months, getting away for a weekend or something like that, to kind of just do nothing. Or maybe go away for, the weekend, and, go on a trip that's, I'm doing a lot. And I don't know, it's so funny, because I can't go away, even if I'm going to Derry, without getting stuff for the animals. Like, I went back to Derry and I came back by going to this pet shop called Jolly's, and I got a bunch of treats for the dogs. Or like whenever I was in New York, I had to go into the dog shop and get a bunch of toys for them, and then get a bunch of treats for the cats. And like I do that in Paris too. It's like whenever I go anywhere, I'm constantly thinking about them, and it's just like I just think the greatest decision of my life was getting all of them, and I'm so happy I did it at the time I did it. I'm glad I didn't wait any longer. I'm glad that I just like it's so weird. I mean, if you have animals, you'll know, but like I just can't imagine my life without the girls and the boys. So it's so silly to say, but I mean the dogs and the cats. I really do just. Ugh, I can cry thinking about it, but I just love them so much. If you have animals, you know, and I always grew up in an animal household, especially whenever I went back, you know, this weekend I got to see it. I've always grown up with a love for animals, sometimes even more than people. Not to sound like something that would be on like a Forever 21 t-shirt, but it's true. And that has definitely, you know, inspired everything in my life. And that was one of the reasons I was moving out, was because I wanted to start my own family with animals. And I did. And I got Bonnie in Strabane, which is like 40 minutes outside of Derry, I think. And I got her with the intentions of, I'm going to raise her for a couple months in Derry, and then I'm going to move to Brighton with her. And I did. And then every other animal was also planned. You know, Tyler was planned months before I got him. In terms of I knew, you know, what I was going to get and whatever like that, and when I was going to get him. And I knew that I was getting Tyler, specifically Tyler, I think for a month, maybe a month and a half, maybe, I don't know, before I moved to Brighton. Like, I had it set in stone that it was him that I had, you know, got, and I was getting updates about him every day. And that was something that whenever I was watching my second channel videos, I'm doing these videos in Derry, and my lock screen is like this one picture of Tyler that the woman had sent me, and it was the same with Milo, and it was the same with Dolly. I didn't know I was going to get a second dog, but I knew that whenever I had Bonnie for a couple weeks, that I did, whenever I had moved to Brighton, get a second dog for company for Bonnie, just for around the apartment, you know what I mean? Like, just so that they would always have each other. Like, they would always be sisters, and they would always have each other. And that was what I did as well. Like, everything was like tactically thought out. And that's one thing I think my parents trusted me a lot with it, because they knew I was thinking about everything and taking into consideration this and that. And, you know, I love them all so much. And it's funny because someone asked me once, they were like, what's your favorite animal you have? I actually can't tell you. I do not have a favorite. Each day it changes. Like, it's not like I don't have a favorite overall. Each day it literally just changes. But if I was put on the spot now and being like, rank your animals, I couldn't. Because each of them are just so different in their own little ways that it's like a collective like family for me. So if you have any animals, let me know. I know in the Facebook group people have been sending their animals in, and I've been enjoying looking through them. But let me, tell me a little bit about your history with animals, if you will. I would love to hear about it. And I am going to go take a shower now. And it's also getting really dark, and I hate that it's getting really dark, because I don't even feel like it's winter yet. I know I have my Christmas tree up, and this is so ironic, but like, the fact it's getting dark at like 5 p.m. is really alerting, because very soon it's going to start getting dark at 4 p.m. And that's the worst time of the year. I don't care how much I love Christmas. I don't care how much I love Halloween. If it's dark at 4 p.m., sometimes I wake up at 4 p.m. And it's like, those people on TikTok that are like, I live in eternal darkness. Like, they live in like parts of the world where it doesn't see sunlight. That becomes my life at winter, because I sleep so late. So I'm dreading that. And I'm like looking out here at like the sun fully set, and I'm like, oof, we are at that part of the year. But anyway, I love you. Thank you for watching, for hanging out with me. I will see you very soon, and yeah, I'm just enjoying doing these videos so much. Okay, I love you, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.